This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from constructionleadingedge.com. My name is Todd DeWalt. I'm your host, and this episode is a Q&A episode. I'm going to talk about an issue that I worked out with one of my coaching clients. I also have an issue, a question, and some advice for a guy who is currently working for a general contractor, trying to get in a position to make the jump to start his own business. And then one of the more interesting questions, one that I have had the misfortune of dealing with, and that is a question from a project manager who's dealing with a boss who is a micromanager. So let's start off with a topic that I covered with one of my coaching clients. He owns a construction company, and as we were working through some ways to free up time so he could be more strategic and do some of the things that he needed to do, it became apparent that he was spending a lot of time doing bookkeeping, data entry and bookkeeping into QuickBooks, so we started looking at options for outsourcing that. So the first step was I recommended that he contact a local CPA firm and ask them if they could do data entry, do the bookkeeping for him. So he contacted his CPA. It turns out that they provided that exact service, and they had a workflow for it and everything. And he contacted them, worked through all the details, and then he found out that they charged around $80 an hour to do the data entry. And as we talked through that, his initial response was, yeah, it's $80 an hour. It doesn't really make sense for me to pay somebody $80 an hour when I can do it myself. So I said, how many hours a week would that take for the bookkeeping? He estimated about 4 hours a week. So 320 hours or $320 a week times 4. So $1,280 a month to do the bookkeeping, which that sounds like a lot of money. But my question to him was, if you could get rid of the bookkeeping and free up 4 hours a week or more, how much more profit could you generate with that time? So I asked him, if you could offload the bookkeeping to your CPA, could you make $1,280 in profit in a month? And his response was, I could probably make that in a day or in an hour maybe. So that's this concept called opportunity cost. Every decision you make has an opportunity cost, and the opportunity cost is the difference between the maximum amount of revenue that could be generated versus the revenue that's generated by the choice that's taken. So in this case, let's say my client could have made $1,000 an hour in profit every hour that he spent doing sales or streamlining his operation or working with his team, whatever the case may be. His maximum output may be $1,000 an hour. And if he was doing bookkeeping and he could get rid of that bookkeeping for $80 an hour, then his opportunity cost was $920. In other words, every hour that he spent on bookkeeping, he was leaving $920 on the table. So when we thought about it that way, he agreed, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to have the CPA take care of it and move forward that way. So the other thing that was sort of going on in his mind was he was thinking that he would need to hire an employee to come and sit in the office and take care of some other things. And frankly, hiring someone to come in the office came along with some concerns. There were some reservations about keeping somebody busy, having somebody come on and having to create work for them maybe. So we came up with this phased approach where phase one is hire the CPA, outsource it for fixed cost per hour. And during that time, not only will the CPA take care of this bookkeeping, but we can also learn their workflow, learn their process, have them clean up the books a little bit, and get us in a position for phase two, which, if it makes sense to go to phase two would look like hiring an independent contractor, somebody who is not working for a CPA. Maybe they work from home. We could probably hire that person for less than $80 an hour and have them do data entry into QuickBooks, but then also find somebody who can do something else that needs to be done for the business. Maybe that's some marketing, phone calls, social media. Find somebody who can do a variety of things other than just bookkeeping. That would be phase 2. And then when the business scales to the point that it requires a full-time employee, you move into phase 3 where you hire someone in-house, and they've got, at that point, you have a full-blown workflow that you've been going through for a while and proven that it works. You have some other tasks that are strategic goals for the business, social media, marketing, whatever that may be, and then it's less of a jump than it would be just going straight to hiring somebody. So that's, even though some of the key learnings that came out of that were, even though it may cost quite a bit per hour to hire somebody to outsource something, you can't just look at the hard cost. You have to look at the opportunity cost as well. So right now, if you're a construction business owner, there's a couple of things that I want to do for you. One, I want to tell you about the Construction Business Accelerator program that I launched earlier this year, and it is for construction business owners, and it's also for people who are planning to start a construction business. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you are a construction business owner and you want to get help with improving your cash flow, working through situations just like this one, improving productivity for your crews, learning what some of the mindset issues are that could be holding you back, and a variety of other topics. Essentially, everything I've learned over the past 20 years from having my own business and growing another construction company from $4 million in revenue to $10 million in revenue, from 20 employees to 50 employees. I learned a lot of stuff that works, learned a lot of stuff that doesn't work, and I'm loading all that information into the Construction Business Accelerator to help you get up the learning curve faster, avoid getting punched in the face by mistakes, and avoid getting blindsided by the things that you didn't know you didn't know. That's what kicked my butt when I had my own business. There were so many things that I didn't know, and they caught me off guard. So if you're interested in the Construction Business Accelerator and you want to grow your business, you've got work, you're turning away work, maybe you want to get systems in place, or you want to get yourself set up for success and start your business off right, go to constructionleadingedge.com/community and find out how joining the Construction Business Accelerator will help you do that. The other thing I want to offer you, if you're a construction business owner, is I want to offer a free strategy session for you. I want to get on the phone with you for 30 minutes and help you get pointed in the right direction, help you solve a specific problem you're dealing with, or help you prioritize and strategize about what you need to do next. Sometimes it's just really helpful to get on the phone with somebody. If you've ever been on technical support, or you've tried to get technical support, you know sometimes it's better just to get on the phone. So if you're a construction business owner or you're planning to start a construction business, then I want to get on the phone with you. And you can do that really quickly. Go to constructionleadingedge.com/call, CALL. You can pick a time and we'll schedule a call, and we'll jump on the phone, jump on an online call session, and we'll work through it, and I will help you as much as I can. So I would encourage you to do that. Second question, this came from a young man named Jeremy. We talked yesterday, and Jeremy is currently working for a general contractor, and he wants to get himself in a position to start his own business and make that jump. So he was asking me, he asked me, we talked about several things, but one of the most interesting things that I wanted to share with you guys was, he asked the question, how do I make the jump? How do I transition from being a PM working for somebody else to running my own business? How do you make that jump? Because it's a really tough jump to make. So I gave him a few pieces of advice. First of all, as I mentioned before, one of the problems that a lot of construction business owners face is they start a business and then they don't know what they don't know. So my advice was, here's my advice to you if you're thinking about starting your own business. 1, identify your skills gaps. Maybe you have never sold before. If you don't understand the mindset that an entrepreneur needs to have, if you have limiting beliefs about yourself, if you don't think you're good at selling, if you don't think you're good at managing money, if you don't think you're good at dealing with conflicts, those are all issues that you need to solve before you start a business. If you don't understand how to deal with a bank, if you don't understand insurance, if you don't understand workman's comp, if you don't understand how to hire and manage a team and have difficult conversations with people, if you don't know how to write subcontracts, figure out where you want to go and then identify those skill gaps. So it's figure out where you want to go, figure out where you're at today, and then what do you need to do to get yourself in a position to get where you want to be. Because here's the deal. If you're like me, like I was when I started my business, and like a lot of people, you're in such a hurry to start the business. You just want to get started. You just want to make the jump. You just want to get started. But my advice for you would be, don't be in such a hurry to just get started with a business. Focus on getting yourself positioned for success when you start the business. It may take a year, it may take 2 years for you to get to that place, but I'm telling you, that is time well spent. Mistakes made when you own your own business are extremely expensive and extremely painful, and sometimes amazingly difficult, maybe even impossible to solve. So don't be in such a hurry. So once you've identified your skills gaps, one thing you can do is start taking jobs that will help you fill in those skills gaps. So if you've determined that you've never sold, you don't have any idea how to sell, you can, one of the things you can do, other than getting training and reading books and watching videos and enrolling in courses, is to take a job that has a sales component. Or if you know you need to learn how to deal with subcontractors and write subcontracts and manage contractors and teams, go work for a general contractor and put yourself in a position where you can learn. Identify the skills gaps and then take a job that will essentially pay you to learn the skills you need to start your business. It's like a paid training program. That's a different way to look at that. And then the other piece of advice I would give you, if you want to start a business and you're really not sure what niche to go into, maybe you've got some ideas of what you want to do, here's my advice. I heard this from Tony Robbins. He said, don't fall in love with your product or your service. Fall in love with your customer. In other words, don't be so set on a solution. Don't be so set on what you're going to do, but be focused on your customer. And what that means is, instead of deciding you're going to be the best bathroom remodeler in your city, and you go around looking for bathroom remodels, when you've never done it before, you don't have your own business, you could do that, and you could go try to make that happen, and you may be successful. But I'm going to give you another option. Here's another strategy to get started in your business, and that is to find a group, a type of customer that can generate repeat business for you, and then go to them and ask them, hey, what kind of problems are you dealing with right now? What pain are you experiencing? If you could wave a magic wand at something and make it go away, what would that look like? And then you go solve their problems instead of proposing a specific solution to a problem that may not have. So here's an example. When you look at a type of customer that has repeat business, when I think of that situation, I'm thinking of facility managers at existing buildings. Maybe it's an office building or a factory, whatever the case may be. Somebody who's managing a building. It could be a property manager at an apartment complex or a condominium complex, homeowners association. Perhaps it's a group of real estate agents. Often realtors have to get properties flipped and they need to get improvements made. You could work with them. It could be banks. If a bank has bank-owned real estate, they have work that needs to be done, then you can do that. I would advise you to do that as opposed to trying to get one-off customers like homeowners. Maybe you may work and talk to 15 homeowners and you'll land one job, and then that's the only job that homeowner will do for the next 5 years. On the flip side, if you can develop a relationship with a realtor, property manager, facility manager, etc., they are constantly doing projects, and they can get you projects. They have a constant flow of problems that need to be solved, and therefore a constant flow of potential projects for you. And if you can get the opportunity to get in the door, do some good work, develop that relationship, they will continue to feed projects to you. If you want to hear more about that, go listen to episode 54 with Jonah Cantor. He talks about how he executed this campaign for real estate agents and basically spent a whole lot of time on the front end doing that, and that has generated revenue for him ever since he started his business. So episode 54 with Jonah Cantor. So what does that pitch look like when you go talk to somebody? What does that conversation look like? If you get them on the phone, maybe it's, hey, I'm Todd, and I've got a construction company, and I help people who manage apartment complexes take care of their facility problems. What sort of problems are you having? Is there anything I can help you with? What can I do for you? And they may say, yeah, I've got this section of sidewalk that needs to be replaced, or I have one unit that I need to get flipped. Do you do that kind of work? And you would say, absolutely, I'll take care of that. And the beauty of doing this sort of work is the other thing you want to keep in mind as you're doing this, and the beauty of this is that you want to do the type of work that you can contract out. Self-performing work while you're doing a full-time job is going to be very difficult, but you can manage subcontractors while you're doing your full-time gig. And this is a great way to build up a book of business on the side. As you're managing these subcontractors, you're also building relationships with people, and then you just continue to just turn the crank and continue to ramp up efforts, continue to build relationships, and get yourself in a position where you can gradually ramp down your current full-time job as you're ramping up the side gig by building relationships and continuing to do more work, and get yourself in a position where you can make that jump. And that jump is not going to be a huge leap, but it's more of a step, because you know you've got plenty of work lined up for you. So if that's you, and you're, again, thinking about starting a business, I would encourage you to go check out the Construction Business Accelerator. It is the best thing I can do for you. If you like the podcast, but you want to go deeper, get more tactical, like, what do I do? What do I say? How do I do this? What are the steps? Give me a step-by-step process. What's the execution plan? All that stuff is in the Construction Business Accelerator, and that's the best way I can help you. So go to constructionleadingedge.com/community to find out more about that. And also, if you're planning on starting a business, I want to get on the phone with you. Go schedule a free strategy call at constructionleadingedge.com/call, and I'll help you prioritize and give you some advice and help you not get punched in the face like I did. Next question comes from Adam, and Adam says, I'm a project manager for a builder, and I have an issue with my boss going around me and changing everything that I've just assigned to our guys just because he wants other things done instead. But he continually tells me to schedule the guys. And this leads to the guys not listening to me when they should, because he's going to micromanage. It gets frustrating because my jobs don't progress accordingly, and I feel like I'm not doing my job. My boss isn't upset with me, but it makes work so much harder to grow and succeed. So if you have ever dealt with a micromanager, then you are feeling Adam's pain. I have certainly dealt with this, and it is a tough nut to crack, let me tell you. But here are a few things to think about, a few things I've learned from my experience with micromanagers. First of all, micromanagers are often insecure. It's just the reality. Micromanagement is often, not always, often a symptom of their insecurity. And as a result of that, they may see you as a threat. They see anybody who is a high performer, who they are managing, as a threat because they're insecure. They may not trust you, and that may be because of their insecurity. And here's one other reason you need to be prepared to face is maybe you're not doing a good job. If you're dealing with a micromanager or you feel like you're being micromanaged, it could be because of your performance. So you need to take a good hard look at your performance and make sure you're doing your job. The other reason somebody can micromanage, other than being insecure or they don't trust you, is they're just not busy. People who are not busy tend to find ways to fill their times, and often their favorite hobby is to micromanage. So I'm going to talk about what to do with a micromanager in just a minute, but let me tell you one thing that doesn't work. The worst thing you can do with a micromanager is to actively resist them and try to butt heads with them. That's the worst thing you can do. That may be your nature, but I'm telling you, don't do it. It's counterproductive. So here's what you can do. Here are some strategies to help you deal with a micromanager, if that's you. If you're a project manager, superintendent, foreman, and you have a manager who's micromanaging you, somebody who, and let's talk about micromanagement. The symptoms of micromanagement would be somebody who, like in Adam's situation, they're telling you, hey, go schedule your guys, do what needs to be done, and then they're going around you and going directly to your team and telling them something else. Micromanagement also looks like giving you a task to do and then checking in on you every half hour, asking, hey, how's this going? Hey, what are you doing? Or giving you a task and then telling you exactly what to do. Prescribing, hey, go call this person, go ask this question, report back to me. So you are just a gopher. You're just doing tasks. You're not empowered to make any decisions. And as a result, you feel discouraged, you're frustrated, you're not engaged, and you just don't give a crap. Because why should you care if none of your ideas are good and they're just going to tell you exactly what to do? So you sort of if you're like I have been in the past in that situation, you just put your stuff down and say, all right, tell me exactly what you want me to do. So that's what micromanagement is. Just in case, for some reason, you have never had the good pleasure of dealing with a micromanager, that's what it looks like. So here's what to do. Here are some strategies on how to deal with a micromanager. First, defer to them. I know this is counterintuitive. If you're like me, your instinct is to resist them and focus on doing the right thing. But I'm telling you, one of the best things you can do is to defer to them. And when this happens, let's talk about this specific situation. Let's say you're scheduling your crew and you've got your team rocking and rolling, and then you find out that the boss called somebody on your team and told them to do something else. This has happened to me, and here's what I've done. I would find out that the guy on my team the boss had gone around me and gone to him. And so I did two things. One, I told the guys on my team, hey, if the boss calls you and gives you something to do, let me know. Okay, I don't want to put you in a situation where you've got to decide which boss to listen to. If he tells you to do something, then just let me know so I know what's going on. And then the second thing is, when that happens, call your boss and say this: hey, we're happy to get that taken care of, no problem, but what I would ask is that you just let me know so I can schedule it in with everything else that's going on. That's easy for me to say. So, hey, happy to take care of that for you, but if you would just let me know, and then we can get everything done efficiently, okay? So that's step one. So you're deferring to them, saying, hey, you're the boss, we're happy to get done what you want to get done, and you're making a request. Hey, all I'm asking is, if you could, just let me know, route that through me, and I'll get it taken care of for you. Every day of the week, I'll get it taken care of for you. Second strategy would be to help them get busy. If their problem is that they just don't have enough to do, then help them get busy. Find things for them to do. This may sound a little sneaky, and maybe it is, but hey, if they have free time and energy and they want to get involved in stuff, then instead of doing stuff that's counterproductive for you, maybe you should try throwing some stuff in their lap that would actually help you. And that would look like you contacting them and saying, hey, could you help me with this? You're really good at finding materials, or you're really good at interviewing people, or you're really good at dealing with this type of situation. Is there any chance you could take care of that for me? And that'll put them on to something that is more beneficial for you and will keep them busy and maybe even keep them out of your hair. And if you want to go a step further, maybe you could have the guys on your team or other people could start this campaign of, hey, let's keep the micromanager boss busy. Have a process of keeping them busy with stuff. Sounds crazy, but I've done it and it works. Next, you need to build trust with this micromanager. And how do you build trust with somebody that's not trusting, potentially? One, you need to execute. You need to show that you're not actively resisting them. They need to know that, hey, this guy's not trying to fight me on this. You need to show gratitude. One of the best ways to build trust with someone is to show gratitude. And that would be just finding something to thank them for. Hey, thanks for taking care of that. Hey, thank you for calling me. And by all means, if they actually do call you and route requests through you, then you need to go over the top and be extremely grateful. Oh, thanks for contacting me. Man, this is super helpful. Thank you for letting me know this. We're going to get this taken care of. And then you execute on that, and you make it easier for them to get stuff done by routing it through you. You're going to have to go over the top to do that. And then the other way to build trust is to ask their opinion. Ask them to teach you something. They've been in the business, assuming that they have some experience, whatever it is, there's something that they can teach you. So you find something that they are interested in and experienced in, and ask them to teach you about this. Ask them questions. Go to lunch with them. Your gut instinct, your first instinct is to actively resist them and stay away from them. Trust me, that's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is engage with them, develop a relationship with them, because they're insecure. If they're insecure and they don't trust you, then separation will only throw gas on that fire. But the closer you are and the more you're interacting with them and the more relationship you have with them, the higher the trust level and the more secure they're going to be. And lastly, you should start looking for another job. And simultaneously, you should start looking for another job. Because here's the reality. If you're dealing with a true micromanager, and if you're executing, if you're doing the job you're supposed to be doing, and you've tried to build a relationship, and you've gone through these other steps, then if they're still micromanaging, if they still don't trust you, if they're still insecure, then you need to go somewhere else. You're never going to change a micromanager. Nobody is ever going to change a micromanager except that micromanager. They're the only ones who can change it, and they're going to have some revelation that, hey, I'm a micromanager. And that takes a lot of self-awareness, which in my experience most micromanagers lack any sort of self-awareness. So start looking for another job, because if they don't trust you, if they're insecure, then they will see you as a threat. They will be intimidated by you. If you're a high performer, and if you're listening to this podcast, let's face it, you're a high performer, right? You're an ass kicker. You're a type A personality. You like to get stuff done. You're passionate about leadership. You want to take action. And people like you intimidate micromanagers. So what that means is they feel threatened by you, because you're going to move up the organization, and they're probably going to be working for you someday. That's what's going on in their mind. Like, this guy's going to take my job, and he's going to be my boss, and there's no way in hell I'm going to let him move up the organization. So a classic unfixable micromanager will actively resist your growth and progression in the company, and you just need to get out of there. There are plenty of other companies that are looking for people like you, and they will be glad to have somebody like you on their team. So work through those other steps, build trust, defer to them, help them get busy, but at the same time, start looking for another job, because here we are, this is late 2017 when I'm recording this, and this market is hot. There are people everywhere looking for good people like you. So if you are in that situation, those are some strategies for you. And if you're a project manager, superintendent, foreman, or you want to move into one of those positions, you want to move into a project leadership role, you want to move up the organization, take on bigger projects, you're passionate about leadership, you want to lead a team, you want to lead a division, you want to lead a project, then I would invite you to check out the Project Leader Bootcamp. This is an 8-week course that I've put together, and in there I have uploaded everything that I think you need to know to get to the next level as a project leader. There are hours of videos in there, strategies and tactics that I've used to manage projects ranging from bathroom remodels all the way up to $70 million high-rises. I guarantee this stuff will help you. If you're a project leader and you want to move up to the next level, step up to the next level of your career, make more money, get that company vehicle, get more authority, whatever you're looking for, whatever the next level of your career means to you, go check out the Project Leader Bootcamp at constructionleadingedge.com/bootcamp. And I want to give you some free strategies, some free project management secrets and hacks, I call them. So if you want to learn how to get more done in less time and build a rock-solid team in the process, if you're going to lead a project, you've got to understand the 5 levels of delegation. You also probably want to be able to solve problems before they happen. You also need to know about empowered execution, which is one of the key leadership principles that helped the Allies win on D-Day. If you want to learn that stuff, plus uncover some keys on how to inspire your team to see the vision and do great work, improve crew productivity of any crew, any team you lead, then go to constructionleadingedge.com/hacks, HACKS, constructionleadingedge.com/hacks, and I will send you 3 videos with some training material, some training videos on doing exactly that. Project management hacks and secrets for construction leaders. So you can get that at constructionleadingedge.com/hacks. That ends this episode. So remember, if you're a construction business owner and you'd like to jump on a call with me, I would love to help you strategize and prioritize and solve some problems. Go to constructionleadingedge.com/call and schedule your free call. Be sure to check out the Construction Business Accelerator and the Project Leader Bootcamp. And you may want to take action quickly because prices are going up soon, and I want you to save some money. So that wraps this up. My name is Todd DeWalt. Thank you for listening. See you next time.
Bye.